Hi everyone, good to be catching up again. Thursday, 4th of June. I've really valued the feedback that we're getting about how we're connecting and trying to engage and encourage and connect with you guys. There's no doubt, like me, many of you today have been feeling the weight of what's been happening in America. Many of us have friends and family in America, and I know in my lifetime I've never seen so many riots happen at the same time. It's a sad situation and continues to be sad with the murder of George Floyd. The saddest thing I heard in the last few days was when someone made the comment, "It's just another one." There have been far too many. Racism is real. It is wrong. And we know and hold to the value that every human being has been made in the image of God. And I'd like us all to stop and lament and reflect, remind ourselves that those who we come in contact with, let us extend grace and kindness. And we know too our own history in Australia with our Indigenous brothers and sisters. It's not as if somehow we have a gold star either in how we treat others. It's growing. Some people say the world is on fire in America. There are troubling days. I won't comment about the leadership in America at this point in time. I'll say more on my message on Sunday. Many of you know, of course, that you've heard of the lifting of restrictions, the number 50. And that is good to hear because that's a step in the right direction. It means that we're getting closer to something. And I know you're all thinking that something is a gathering on Sunday. So first, let me continue to thank the team and all those involved in making these connections happen in the live stream. We're just so thankful. We're thankful for the life group leaders, for Joe, all that's been going on through Zoom meetings. So thank you so much that you've been patient and you continue to be patient with us in this season. A couple of things to bear in mind before I get to some key aspects. Today, when you receive this video, there's also an email from me with a number of steps about the future. 4 steps, in fact. It's a fairly long email, and I wrestled with how much to say, but I've taken the decision to let you know as much as I can in a way that suits our format, but brings you up to speed as at today. There's some things to rejoice in, some things to think we're not there yet, which is true. With the lifting of restrictions, of course, you've got to realise, like I do, it's actually getting harder. There's more decision to make. What will the future look like? There is a real thing called decision fatigue, and we can all feel that. There are restrictions, increase in restrictions, and that's going to be our world for many, many months ahead. Let me say something to you guys that I've never ever thought or said in over 30 or 40 years of ministry. We grow more by staying at home. That's right. At home we can sing, we can eat, we can engage, we could even invite another family around. That is not the case at church at the moment, and nor for the foreseeable future. In fact, even if I did open the doors on a Sunday for a limited number, it'd be a strange experience. It would not be Fig Tree Church as it was in February. You'd come in, you wouldn't sing, you'd sit appropriate distance apart, you'd hear something, and you'd go home. There's no mingling, no hanging around. We have to clean everything down, and that to me isn't the best way forward at this stage. And so, yes, you've heard me say it, we grow more at the moment by staying at home. Some other things, you'll receive information. We've got to manage our expectations. Can I encourage you to manage your expectations? There are many conversations we're having. You're going to be hearing what other churches are doing. I've said that in the email. Read, pray, and reflect. Just be thankful for what we can do, which is great. If I had a focus today, which I do, and a particular group that I want to see get together as soon as possible, it's our children and youth. And yes, we can do something in the next few weeks, and especially in term 3. So that's going to impact our face-to-face gatherings for children and youth, which is really exciting because I think at the moment they indeed are our most vulnerable group. So pray for that, and it's exciting that we can do something there as well. Don't forget, coming up Christianity Explored is happening with Langdon and his team Tuesday the 23rd of June from 7:30 p.m. If you'd like to know more, let us know. Connect at myfac.org.au and he'll be able to engage with you about that as well. Lots of things are going on. Tomorrow morning, if you're up early, between 6:30 and 7:30, Melinda James from our local ABC radio conducted an interview with myself, and I was able to speak about our church and what we're doing, so you might have some time to listen to that as well. This Sunday, 9:20 a.m, Sunday morning, we're starting a prayer group meeting. You're going to be able to connect through that through Facebook, and also there'll be a link provided in the coming days to allow you to get online. It'll be a Zoom prayer group meeting, but that's open to everyone. So I encourage you, if you can, to gather with us for prayer about church and what's happening at the moment. That'd be really encouraging as well. As always, look, it's great to be able to engage with you. Lots are happening. I really appreciate your patience as well. The song for today, it's a song that is very personal to my wife in particular, and she's given me permission to say that. So thank you, honey. The song, I think many of you would know it. It's called His Eye is on the Sparrow. It's dear to Rhonda because, as you know, and I've shared it with publicly before, Rhonda's mum passed away when she was only 9, but she remembers her mum. Her mum, Ruth, a great Baptist warrior, used to sing this song to Rhonda when she was a little girl. And so it has real meaning. It's got a great story behind it, and the thinking behind it comes from Matthew 10. It shouldn't surprise you that every song I keep reflecting on has great roots in the Word of God. And Matthew 10, it's part of, we only looked at it 2 years ago. Matthew 10, verse 29. Here's what we read. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside of our Father's care. And even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. So don't be afraid, you are worth more than many sparrows. The song has been sung by many great ones, and I keep encouraging CJ to realise all these great songs. Can you believe it? I said to one of our young interns the other day, have they heard of Joan Baez? And they looked at me stunned. I know, you're thinking, gee, Ian, you're getting old. It's just true. But they need to actually go back to some of the history behind some of these great musicians and songs. His Eye on the Sparrow, written 1905. That's right, only recently. And it was written by Sevilla Martin. Her and her husband were great Christians, songwriters, reflected on lots of life. And they had a wonderful couple they knew in New York. And so here it is, picture it, 1905, her and her husband are going to New York to visit some dear friends, and the dear friends' names are Mr. and Mrs. Doolittle. That's right. Anyhow, they catch up with their friends and they start talking to them, engaging, and their friends are in very, very particular situation. Mrs. Doolittle has been bedridden for 20 years. Mr. Doolittle himself is an incurable cripple and who's in a wheelchair, and he propels himself around in his wheelchair. And so Sevilla said to them that despite their afflictions, they seem to be living happy and fulfilled Christian lives. You know the question, well, how? What's the secret? What's the inspiration behind all the comfort you have? And you know what Mrs. Doolittle simply said? His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. As a result of that, they went away and wrote the song. There's some great songs. Many of you would know the movie Sister Act, famous in Sister Act 2. Some of the great female singers and male singers have sung this song. It's fantastic. I've asked Greg to get us to have someone in our own team sing it in the next couple of weeks. The lyrics are beautiful. And why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? And why should my heart feel lonely and long for my heavenly home? His eye is on the sparrow. His eye is on the sparrow. I love that. I sing because my soul is happy. I sing because I'm free. For his eye is on the little sparrow, and I know he's watching over you and me. Brothers and sisters, that is so true. He's watching over us. The world is in trouble. There's heartache all around. Our God is watching over us. He's concerned for us. And maybe through this season, more than any other season we've ever experienced. Great change is going to come. Take care, God bless, and see you on Sunday.